Friends, if you're looking for a movie that sends chills down your spine, not from bloody scenes or sudden jump scares, then Cure by Kiyoshi Kurosawa is exactly what you need. It's like that odd book on a dusty shelf you happen to notice, not expecting it to completely mesmerize you. First off, this isn't the typical horror film. There's no masked villain, no demons, no ghosts. Cure sneaks up on you, creeping in slowly and silently, like a thick fog. And by the time you realize you're caught, there's no escape. The plot centers on a series of brutal, baffling murders in Tokyo. The twist? Each killer is different, unconnected to the previous victims, yet each leaves the same cross-shaped mark on their victim's chest. Our main character, Detective Takabe, played by Koji Yakusho, is determined to solve these eerie killings. In his investigation, he meets a mysterious man named Mamiya, who claims to remember nothing of his life. He seems, to put it mildly, lost, but the more people talk to him, the more unsettling the atmosphere becomes. One of the things that immediately stands out in Cure is its atmosphere. If you've seen any of Kurosawa's work, you know to expect something slow, filled with a hidden horror and an almost tangible sense of menace. The film moves at its own deliberate pace, pulling us scene by scene into a dark, brooding world. Kurosawa is a master at building a sense of unease. Just when you think you're beginning to understand, he twists it, leaving you with more questions than answers. One of the film's most fascinating and chilling ideas is the use of hypnosis. The murders feel more like a psychological experiment than a standard crime investigation. Mamiya somehow suggests murder to people, and it's not even manipulation, so much as a hypnotic process that turns ordinary people into puppets. It makes you wonder, what would happen if it were you? Could you resist? Kurosawa doesn't just want us to watch. He wants us to live the fear of losing control over ourselves. It's a chilling thought, isn't it? Watching Takabe, you start to appreciate how complex and deeply human his character is. He balances professional resilience with personal fears. Takabe is no superhero. He's a regular man on the edge of cracking under the pressure. He also has the added burden of caring for his wife, who has a mental illness. He's like a spring wound too tight, ready to snap at any moment. His inner struggle to stay sane and fight his demons is as important to the story as the investigation itself. What's remarkable about Cure is its refusal to hand you clear answers. Want to know why Mamiya does what he does? What he really is? The film isn't in a hurry to explain, leaving you ample room to interpret. At some point, you realize there might be no answers, that some things remain a mystery, and that's exactly what makes it so disturbing. Mamiya is like a symbol of chaos, an embodiment of the random cruelty that can surface in any of us. He's not a villain in the conventional sense, but his actions and influence are terrifying. He asks simple questions, yet each word he utters seems devoid of regular human meaning, like an unsolvable riddle. And that only makes him more frightening. To be honest, Cure may feel slow to some viewers. If you're used to fast-paced stories, it might disappoint you. But if you give yourself time to savor each scene, you'll see how this deliberate pacing amplifies the horror. There aren't sudden twists, but there are scenes that stay with you long after the film ends. The scene with Mamiya's lighter, for instance, if you know, you know. It's just a simple lighter, but when he flicks it on, an eerie feeling sets in. The film tackles themes like responsibility, the nature of human evil, and the terrifying idea of losing control over one's mind. Watching it feels like therapy, though not the kind that brings relief, but the kind that draws out the darkest corners of your soul. So if you're not afraid of ambiguity, if you enjoy movies that make you think and glance nervously over your shoulder, Cure is perfect for you. This film won't be your favorite horror movie right away, but it will linger in your mind, returning in the most unexpected thoughts. Kurosawa, like a skilled hypnotist, puts us in a trance, making us remember this film as if under a spell, even after some time has passed. It's not classic horror, but that's exactly what makes it so unique.